What if I told you the exhaustion you feel from always saying yes? The resentment building in your relationships that quietly disconnect you from yourself? What if all of it comes down to one thing? You're abandoning yourself. And here's the truth no one is talking about. Self-abandonment isn't a flaw. It's a survival strategy you learned as a child, one that's now keeping you separated from your authentic self, the woman who you were always meant to be. Hey there, I'm Carpenter with Blissful Heart Coaching. I help successful women stop abandoning themselves in their relationships. If you're tired of overfunctioning, overgiving, and overperforming just to feel loved, you're in the right place. Through my Unbridled Authenticity coaching model, I guide women back home to their true selves so they can finally experience the genuine connection their hearts have been craving. Today, I'm sharing about the painful truth about what self-abandonment really is, why you keep doing it even when you know better, and how to begin the journey back home to yourself. Stay with me until the end because I'm going to share something a little controversial. Why traditional boundary advice doesn't actually work for women who are still abandoning themselves inside. Let's start with self-abandonment and what it really looks like because it's so much more than people pleasing. Self-abandonment is betraying your own truth to keep others comfortable. It's saying yes when every cell in your body is screaming no. It's explaining your feelings instead of honoring them. It's dimming your light so others don't feel threatened by your shine. You quiet your own needs, calling it compromise, when really it's fear. Fear of being judged or rejected for wanting more. Here's how it shows up in real life. You're in a meeting and someone takes credit for your idea, but you stay quiet to avoid conflict. You agree to host Thanksgiving again, even though you're already running on empty, because disappointing family feels unbearable. Every time you do that, you send a message to your nervous system that your truth doesn't matter, and your body, it keeps the score. I'm actually living this right now. Several months ago, a local cancer foundation asked me to be on their planning committee for their biggest annual fundraiser. I care deeply about their cause. I've lost my dad, an aunt, and my grandmother to cancer. So, of course, I said yes. But here's the thing. I'm self-employed and working hard to build my coaching practice. I'm power of attorney for both my mom and my fairy godmother. I'm a wife, grandmother, mom, and friend. And now I'm stressed out because I abandoned my own capacity. I said yes from my heart without checking in with my reality. That's the sneaky thing about self-abandonment. It doesn't always look like people-pleasing in the obvious sense. Sometimes it looks like saying yes to something meaningful, but at the cost of your own peace and bandwidth. And the body always tells the truth. I could feel the tension in my chest and the overwhelm creeping in before my mind could even admit it. So why do we do this? Here's the controversial truth. Self-abandonment was never weakness. It was intelligence. It was survival. As children, we were completely dependent on our caregivers for safety. So when we learn that being too much, too loud, too sensitive, too emotional might threaten that connection, we adapted. We learn to bridle ourselves. When I talk about bridling, I'm drawing from the world of horses. In thoughtful horsemanship, a horse learns to respond to gentle pressure while ideally staying connected to its spirit. But many of us internalize that pressure so deeply that we started bridling ourselves, suppressing our true thoughts, emotions, and desires to stay safe, accepted, and loved. The unbridling process is about gently loosening those old reins, healing the survival adaptations that once kept us safe, and reconnecting with our whole worthy soul-led selves. Because here's the thing, that little girl inside of you, she's still running the show. She's still terrified that if you speak your truth, set a boundary, or take up space, you'll be abandoned. So she keeps you small, keeps you pleasing, keeps you safe. But safe isn't the same as alive. So let's talk about what this actually costs, because the price is high. Chronic self-abandonment leaves you feeling like a stranger in your own life. You look successful on paper, but feel empty inside. You're surrounded by people, yet no one really knows you because you've hidden her away. Your relationships suffer too. You either grow resentful from always being the responsible one, or you find yourself in relationships where you're carrying more of the emotional load than your partner. And the most painful part, you start to lose trust in yourself. You second guess every decision because you've overridden your inner knowing for so long, you can't hear it anymore. You might be thinking, but Lynn, I'm not weak. I'm successful. I run a company. I lead teams. I get things done. And you're right. But success and self-abandonment can absolutely coexist. In fact, many of the most accomplished women I know are also the most disconnected from their authentic selves because achievement became the armor that kept them safe. So how do we break this cycle? First, by recognizing that this isn't about willpower or trying harder. It's about healing the wounded parts of you that learned self-abandonment was the only way to survive. Start with curiosity, not criticism. Instead of judging yourself for saying yes when you meant no, ask, what was I afraid would happen if I said no? What part of me needed protection in that moment? Then reconnect with your body's wisdom. Your body always tells the truth before your mind does. That tightness in your chest when someone asks for a favor you don't want to do, that's not anxiety, that's information. And practice what I call micro moments of authenticity. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Honor one feeling, speak one truth, set one small boundary. The journey home to yourself isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world taught you it wasn't safe to be her. This work is tender and it's sacred. Every time you choose yourself, you rewrite the story that said love required your disappearance. If this resonated with you and you're ready to start healing your relationship with yourself, I've created a free inner child meditation to help you reconnect with that authentic part of you that's been waiting for you all along. You'll find the link in the description below. And if this video spoke to you, please give it a thumbs up and tell me in the comments what's one way you've been abandoning yourself that you're ready to change. Remember, you don't have to live everyone else's life. Your authentic self is waiting for you to come home. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.